Okay, so just got out of seeing Silent Night, and this was a movie that I didn't know anything about really, other than just a couple of things like the director and a little bit of the cast. Um, and it was a surprise because the title definitely fits the movie. I, I I don't like to give too much away, but I think this is obviously something that is known for anyone who watches the trailer at all or looks up anything about the movie whatsoever. But I think it's a good thing to know before going into it, because it took a little while to realize, well, not a long time, but it took a little while to realize this movie really is going to be silent in a sort of way, since there's barely any dialogue, and most of the dialogue is off-screen, radio chatter, things like that. So it definitely lives up to that title. Although I do wish that there would have been more of a Christmas theme to it. I mean, there's a touch of Christmas stuff here and there, but they could have definitely done a little bit more with that, because it doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. I know people say like to argue whether Die Hard's a Christmas movie or not, and this one is called Silent Night, and it takes place a lot on Christmas Eve, and other than a couple of things, it doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. I would say that it does. The first act is a little slow, and that's because, well, mostly because it's like instead of the first act being, your standard, 20 minutes, then this happens, then 10 minutes later this happens. It starts late in the first act, and then it has to really, really take its time before it gets into the second act. So it takes about what should be 10 minutes worth of screen time and elongates it into maybe like 30 minutes or something like that. So it does start off a little slow, but once it starts getting going, it's actually rather good. The lead character, he's a bit unlikable. I wish they would have done a little bit more to make him likable. The action is all really good. Other than your typical CGI blood splatter, it felt like there was a lot in camera. I enjoy when car crashes and fights and things like that seem physically real. So many movies, the action is so much CGI that it just does not feel good at all. But so this was really good. Everything was really easy to follow as far as the action goes. I thought it was interesting how they dealt with the no dialogue. I mean, your lead character cannot speak really, so that's a reason for him not talking, but they do a pretty decent, rather good job of working out ways to not have any, well, not much dialogue whatsoever from all the other characters. I would say it's definitely not going to be for everyone, because it does have a bit of a somber tone through it, and like I said, it does take a little bit to get going, but it does a really good job of the good old show don't tell aspect. There's several things that you wonder if you question what happened to this character. Did he die, or surely he didn't die? And then it might be a little while later on, then you get the answer. Or what happened with this one character, that why are they not in this scene? What's going on with their relationship? And then 15 minutes later, oh, okay, I see what's going on, and you can really piece things together without the movie telling you what's going on whatsoever. But then there's other things that just hit you over the head with, just things that's apparent. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but like just a small example. At the very beginning, you get a glimpse of a newspaper, and then there's a shot of a close-up of the newspaper, and it's like, well, yeah, we get the headline. We saw it already. You don't have to, intercut. You don't have to show a close-up of the newspaper. We get it. But that's kind of nitpicking little things like that. I would say if you want a different take on a revenge action movie, where it takes its time getting going, but once it gets going, like I said, there's some really good stuff, some great fighting and action. That was obviously the standout. And if you want to see something that's just different, with not really hardly any dialogue at all, and I would say check it out for that. It's not great by any means, but it was definitely worthwhile for what it was going for. So for that one, let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.